Friends, it's October 7th, and how can you even put words together to describe a year of horror since the massacres and the kidnappings, which sparked on October 7th, which sparked this Israel-Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, Iran, Judea and Samaria, just a 7-front war, and lives have been just torn apart, irreversibly altered by loss. And so keep praying for the safe return of the dozens of people still being held captive by terror, all the way till now, including young children, Holocaust survivors, protection for Israeli families living under the constant threat of the rocket fire, and wisdom for the leaders and the soldiers who are doing everything to restore peace and security. We're still in the midst of it, you know, a year later. Who'd have guessed 2 hypersonic missiles were just fired right now from down the Red Sea in the country of Yemen from the terrorist group known as the Houthis or Ansar Allah. And they shot Tel Aviv. I think the rockets were taken out. Not to mention the rockets just fired on Tel Aviv from Hamas. How do they even still have those ability to stockpile? Maybe their stockpiles are running out, I hope. And the Hezbollah terrorists are on the move. The going is really, really hard. 6 of them came through a tunnel into northern Israel. They were taken out, I heard, and there's heavy combat, heavy machine gun fire, heavy fighting in southern Lebanon to defeat these terrorists who plan to also do on October 7th and invade and massacre. They had everything ready. They planned to do it. IDF's still investigating why those rockets got through from Hezbollah. 5 rockets bombing Haifa. They got through, causing some damage. They tried to intercept them. Additional 15 rockets were shot on Kiryat Shmona last night. So we're in a hard time, but how do we even look back at this? And I just got to go to the Bible and the promises. Psalms 18:38, I will pursue my enemies and I will overtake them. I will not return until they were destroyed. And I think of that, and I think of, you know, God does give us encouraging words that the enemy, the wicked are judged. And you look back and you see in this whole year, there have been some successes. I mean, it's been really, really hard. But one, the rapid recovery of the IDF and the civilian population within hours of the attack. Of course, it took too long, but to be able to go and kick those invaders out of the base, kick them back to Gaza, out of the army bases, out of the kibbutzes, clear it. I was part of this. While under aerial bombardment, to act fast, to act bold, to be brave, to be heroes. That is, of course, it was very slow at first, but when it finally got happening, that was good. The underground warfare, if I do say so myself, Yahalom has been able to jump into one of the hardest, tightest urban warfare zones in the world, with the most amount of terrorists, both in Hezbollah and in Gaza with Hamas and Islamic Jihad and Izz al-Din al-Qassam. And to be able to underground go into these tunnels, blow them up, find them, effectively handle many of them. There's still many left, and there's still hostages there. But to reverse the Israel-Hezbollah power balance, I mean, there was such a moment where everybody was like, Hezbollah is going to win, they're going to invade. But we quickly started Operation Northern Arrows and pushed them back. We're pushing them back. You know, this is something that is good through all this. And to be able to, even though the families are still not able to return home, but we're on it. They're talking to me about going there myself and fighting Hezbollah. You know, number 4, repelling the Iranian attacks. They totally twice sought to just to wipe Israel off the map with their intercontinental ballistic missiles. In April, in October 1st, April 13th and 14th, and on October 1st. And so many missiles flooded the skies. But yet we were able, with Israeli-American help and even from Jordan and other places, to shoot out of the sky some of these giant intercontinental ballistic missiles. This is amazing. What about stopping a third intifada from Judea and Samaria? Some call it the West Bank. There are so many terrorists, so much ready, and we were able to do, at the same time as doing all the rest, do raids on certain areas where they were flooded with just bloodthirsty terrorists and push them back. And so we avoided having another invasion from there with bloodthirsty murderers. What about the restoration of deterrence? Believe it or not, people are starting to say, well, I better think twice. I'm a little bit deterred to just go and invade Israel, to just go and attack with tunnels and with missiles. And it's returning to the global sphere a little bit of deterrence and saying, guys, we mean business. We might have been surprised. We might have been caught off guard. We might have fallen asleep at the wheel, but when we woke up, we proved that we remain a formidable defense. We can, do significant work in defending Israel. Now, I'll tell you, there has definitely been some issues that are not dealt with in this year. And pray into these. We have not been able to restore the, 60, 70, 80, 90,000 people back to their homes. And we haven't been able to do that in the north, in the Galilee. And the Hezbollah is so glad that they're just able to have this, this deterrent power from them, they might say. And that's really, really tough. We've failed to retrieve all the hostages. Sure, more than half in different ways have come back. Some military, some political ways. But Yahya Sinwar, who was freed in a prisoner swap, he's just really, really good at holding on to his cards. And he's disappeared, I think, for now. But it's been very, very hard to get the rest of the 101 hostages to be released. We failed to find a partner, someone who could replace Hamas. We failed to find anyone, even the Fatah, who could be trained up. We had hoped that could happen, and there was just no partner who could think straight, who could be straight, and to take over from the Hamas so far. And also, it's been strained relations internationally with the United States, even our closest ally. It's been very hard. And guys, I'm just telling you, there has been all around the world, to see every major Western capital of every Western country, parades of pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah people. It's just been hard, and then all these calls for ceasefire. But even before we got to Rafah, even before we got to Gaza City, calls for ceasefire. It's like an undermining of our victory by our friends. So it's been tough. And what else? Delegitimization of Israel. Like Israel's some white colonialist power, like it's not our land, like we shouldn't defend ourselves, like my kids aren't under rocket fire, like we're just doing it because we're warmongers or something. A lot of lies, and a lot of people saying a lot of lies puts us in a place that's really uncomfortable. You're facing so many lies, and I know I speak the truth, and I hope you speak the truth, but Israel's not the aggressor. We almost were murdered in our sleep by the Hezbollah. Thank God we were able to do operations like Grim Beeper to strategically target some of them, and that's only a very small percentage of them. But what I'm saying is we've had our successes, we've had our challenges, but I'm telling you what, we are continuing to have faith. And all of you who are people of faith, people of the Bible, come on, stand with us. And those who are practically helping, we've opened up everything, our Beit Zera guest house, our villa in Tiberias, our main warehouse, putting goods through there all the time. The free clothing distribution. I mean, we've opened up our lodging. We do events, helping the lone soldiers, helping soldiers in general, all kinds of things for families, for the displaced persons, even scholarships for even a couple of people, right, where those who survived the Nova Festival are now able to get a scholarship for university. The training of internationals in the Ambassador Academy still happens in this war. So there's a lot of victories, even with our charity. People praying, coming to encourage, coming to help, volunteer, the volunteer program. Consultation for new immigrants who are showing up in the middle of this war. The Pre-Army Academy, that's pretty new. National service, that's amazing too. So I'm just saying, even the Young Immigrants Club is something that's new to help them, and educational trips, business startup, that's something the mayor wanted us to do. Business startup incubator and accelerator. I think the main thing, though, that's really been our main thing is the emergency aid initiative to help families that are displaced, to help even the heroes on the front lines to be able to have the equipment they need, and they need a lot of equipment, thermal drones. I mean, there's stuff that we still need. Let me tell you this, God will never let Israel be destroyed. Psalms 29, the Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace. And King David was a warrior, but he knew how to trust God in the time of need. He knew how to trust in God. Do you know how to? Do you know how to intercede? Do you know how to to abide in the shadow, in the secret place, the shadow under the wings of the Almighty? The battle isn't ours, it's God's. And the sooner people realize that Israel's not just another place, Jerusalem's not just another city, the sooner they'll realize that the enemy will be defeated very soon. quicker than you think.